Who is the real father of the Arabs? A question that has lingered for centuries. Today we delve into this intriguing question, a topic that has been subject to much discussion and debate. We'll be exploring the widely held belief that Ishmael, the son of Abraham, is considered the progenitor of the Arabs. This belief, deeply ingrained in historical narratives, is often presented as a given, a fact that has been passed down through generations. But why is this so important? Understanding our historical origins allows us to better comprehend the complexities and nuances of our present. It gives us perspective, illuminating the paths that have led us to where we are today. However, history is never as straightforward as it seems. So we must ask, is this belief universally accepted? As we venture into this journey together, we'll be examining the historical evidence and scholarly opinions. But is this belief universally accepted? Let's delve into the historical and scholarly perspectives. History, as we know, often hides more than it reveals. So let's delve into the depths of the past and bring to light some intriguing evidence that contradicts the widely held belief that Ishmael is the father of the Arabs. Firstly, we have ancient texts that weave a different narrative. Many of these texts, some dating back thousands of years, do not mention Ishmael as an ancestral figure for the Arabs. Instead, they trace the roots of the Arabs back to diverse tribes and clans, each with their own unique lineage and heritage. These texts suggest a rich tapestry of cultures and traditions, rather than a single paternal lineage stemming from Ishmael. Then, there's the evidence from archaeology. Findings from the Arabian Peninsula tell a tale that is far more complex and multifaceted than the simple narrative of Ishmael as the patriarch. Artifacts and inscriptions from ancient civilizations such as the Nabateans and the Sabaeans point to a long history of human habitation and cultural development that predates the biblical timeline of Ishmael. Let's consider, for instance, the pre-Islamic poetry and inscriptions found in places like Najd and Hijaz. These works of art and literature, crafted by the hands and minds of early Arabs, make no mention of Ishmael. Instead, they celebrate the exploits and ancestry of their own tribal leaders and heroes. Moreover, genetic studies have been adding another layer of complexity to this issue. These studies have revealed a vast genetic diversity among the people of the Arabian Peninsula, suggesting multiple waves of migration and intermingling of different populations over the millennia. This diversity is hard to reconcile with the idea of a single common ancestor like Ishmael. In light of such compelling evidence, it becomes clear that the origins of the Arabs might lie in a confluence of cultures, tribes, and migrations, rather than in the lineage of a single individual. Clearly, history paints a different picture, but what do scholars say? Scholars, the detectives of the past, have their own take on this matter. The question of Ishmael's paternity and its implications for Arab lineage has been a point of contention among historians and scholars alike. The diversity in opinions is as vast as the Sahara itself, underscoring the complexities involved in tracing ethnic origins. On one hand, some scholars, particularly those rooted in traditional Islamic teachings, uphold the belief that Ishmael was indeed the father of the Arabs. They argue that the lineage of Arabs can be traced back to Ishmael, who was the son of Abraham, a revered figure in the Islamic faith. This perspective is deeply rooted in religious texts and traditions, and has been perpetuated through centuries of oral and written history. On the other hand, there are scholars who challenge this traditional belief. They argue that the Arab lineage predates Ishmael and Abraham. These scholars posit that the Arabs are descendants of ancient Semitic tribes that inhabited the Arabian Peninsula thousands of years before the biblical and Quranic narratives. They base their arguments on archaeological evidence, linguistic studies, and ancient inscriptions that suggest a complex and multifaceted origin of the Arab people. Among these diverse opinions, there's a third group of scholars who tread the middle path. They suggest that while Ishmael might not be the biological father of all Arabs, his influence and legacy have been instrumental in shaping the Arab culture and identity. They believe that the Arab ethnicity is a cultural construct, shaped by a variety of influences over millennia, and not solely determined by biological lineage. These scholarly debates highlight the complexity and the intrigue that envelops the question of Arab origins. They remind us that tracing ethnic lineage is far from being a straightforward task and is often intertwined with religious beliefs, cultural practices, and historical narratives. As we can see, scholarly opinions are as diverse as the sands of the desert. But what does all this mean for our understanding of Arab history? Just as a river's course shapes the landscape, so does the flow of history shape our understanding. The implications of the findings that Ishmael is not the father of the Arabs are far-reaching and profound. particularly for the Arab world's historical narrative and identity. The idea that the roots of Arab lineage are not tied to a singular figure, but rather a multitude of diverse origins, transforms our perception of Arab history. Think about it. If we shift away from the notion of a single patriarch, we begin to appreciate the rich tapestry of cultural, ethnic, and linguistic influences that have shaped the Arab world. This view opens up a more nuanced understanding of Arab identity, one that celebrates the complexities and layers of its historical evolution. Imagine Arab history not as a straight line drawn from a single point, but as a sprawling tree with many branches. Each branch represents a different influence, from the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt to the varied nomadic tribes of the Arabian Peninsula. These diverse origins have given the Arab world its richness in literature, art, and philosophy, and its deep-rooted traditions in hospitality and oral storytelling. They have contributed to the formation of a shared Arab identity, one that is bound not by the blood of a singular ancestor, but by a common language, shared values, and a collective history. This new perspective does not diminish the importance of Ishmael in the historical narrative. Instead, it encourages us to appreciate the broader influences that have shaped the Arab world. Just as the various threads of a tapestry come together to create a beautiful piece of art, so too have the diverse origins and influences come together to shape the Arab world. So we find that the history of the Arab world is not a monolith. It is a mosaic of diverse elements, each adding its unique color to the overall picture. This understanding enriches our appreciation of Arab history and identity, allowing us to see the Arab world in all its vibrant diversity and depth. So, the father of the Arabs may not be a singular figure, but a tapestry of diverse origins and influences. So who is the real father of the Arabs? This question has led us down a fascinating journey through time, unearthing historical evidence and scholarly opinions that challenge conventional wisdom. We've seen that tracing the origins of a people is no simple task. It's a complex tapestry woven with many threads of history, culture, and migration. The commonly held belief that Ishmael, son of Abraham, is the progenitor of the Arab people, lacks sufficient historical and scholarly support. Instead, we find a rich story of diverse tribes and cultures converging, forming the complex and vibrant Arab world we know today. This exploration underscores the importance of understanding history in its full context, not just through the lens of popular narratives. It reminds us that the roots of a culture stretch far and wide, often in unexpected directions. Perhaps the real father of the Arabs is not a single man, but a rich and diverse history that continues to shape the Arab world today.